Hey, so how the fuck are we supposed to continue living like this? Interest rates are like 7%. And even to get a mortgage, we need insurance. And if you live in California, it's not guaranteed you're getting insurance. Not to mention, our salaries are absolutely not increasing to keep up with the rising cost of homes and these interest rates. Netflix literally costs $25 per month now. $25. And don't even get me started that you need every single streaming provider now to even watch like the basic Bravo shows. I'm just really confused how things are supposed to continue on this trajectory. Like, what's the plan? Surely it cannot continue getting worse than this. What?
Hello everyone, this is Emmanuel Cook. We will be reacting to a new video today, so make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's get into the video.
Want to know how I know the economy is truly in shambles? My parents are starting to realize the economy is in shambles. My mom had to get another job to figure out things. Now, when she was growing up, things were a lot cheaper. She got a house and everything. She was doing fine and dandy. And now she had to get a job. She was looking for, something simple, like $15 an hour. She realized $15 an hour ain't that much. It's garbage. It's trash. Then she was like, oh, I mapped it out. She messaged me. She said, I mapped it out. I need $50 an hour to keep up with everything. I said, $50 an hour? Mom, you're not going to get $50 an hour. She said, why not? I need that to be able to keep up with everything. I said, Mom, listen to me. The economy doesn't care about you. She said, what? I said, they don't care about you. Because when you grew up, Mom, you could get 3 houses, 16,000 acres, and 3 meals at Five Guys Burgers and Fry. You get that'd be easy because the economy was stable, it was even. You worked a good job, 40 hours a week. You could maintain a house, maintain a nuclear family. 1 boy, 1 girl, 1 dad, 1 mom. You could do that. You could be a stay-at-home mom. But now you're realizing you can't do that. Now, this is how I knew the economy was really messed up. She said, that's weird. How are you guys living? Great question, Mom. How are we living? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know how we're living. I have no clue. I'm kind of just winging it day by day, praying, kind of hoping, kind of edging it out every single day, kind of wishing on a star, hoping to make a wish happen, hoping I meet Mr. Beast in public, honestly, at this point, because we're just guessing. We're just really guessing. She really is feeling the effects of inflation. She was like, I don't know if I'm going to make my car payment, my house payment, my insurance, my gas, my lights, my electricity, all that. I'm like, Mom, this is what we all go through. You just said I was being stupid for talking about it last time. I took that opportunity to be as petty as possible. Because by God, she insulted the mess out of me for complaining about it before. She was like, well, I just don't think. That's right, you just don't think. Because you grew up when it was easy and now it's hard for everyone. And now you're confused why it's hard for everyone. It's difficult, isn't it? Difficult, isn't it? Now we're on the same playing field. And I hope that you do good, Mom. But at the same time, this is what you get. I don't know. This is like you guys caused the economy to be like this. This is your parents and you guys caused the economy to be like this. This is your fault. Y'all voted for this. This is what y'all wanted. Now we all suffering. Now we all suffering together and misery loves company.
Okay, I just have to know like if other moms are seeing this or if it's just my kids. But like my daughter is a teenager and it used to be like brands were everything. Like Lululemon a year, 2 years ago, like everything had to be Lululemon. She was like, I don't want the Amazon dupe. Like it was ridiculous. It was stupid. I didn't do it. I didn't buy her. We would go to like Plato's Closet and buy that shit secondhand. Anyways, but now it's like, are they starting to understand the economy and like, are they starting to like really grasp the fact that like shit is expensive right now? Way more so than what it was before. And so it's like, because she hasn't brought up Lululemon one time. For Christmas, for Uggs, I told her, I was like, I will buy you name brand Uggs, but we're gonna wait till Black Friday, get them on sale. And she was like, okay, yeah, that's totally fine. And then she like found some on TikTok and she was like, I don't even care if they're fake. Like, these are way cheaper. Like, let's do that. And I'm like, okay, like I will buy you actual ones. She's like, no, let's just get these. Like, they're like $40. So I'm just like wondering, are teens starting to understand things and like realize that like, this is not okay? And they're trying to like help out by not being little greedy bitches? Or are they getting old enough to where they realize that like brands aren't important? I just am like, this is a very weird new territory for me. Why does my eye keep moving weird? I just woke up and I just had this realization because I was like, well, this is interesting. This was not the rhetoric I was getting a year ago from her.
Can we normalize not having 3, 4, 5, 6 kids? I just feel like right now, like on Instagram and even TikTok, but mainly Instagram, there are all these influencers who are having like 3, 4, 5 kids, and like they look glam and they make it look so easy, and they're dressed cute, and they homeschool, and their kids play sports and yada yada yada. And then you got like normal people like me. I have 2 kids. I always wanted 3, but my girls are 15 months apart. And so like when they were toddlers, I had to take a breather. I had to take a beat. And then about 3 years ago, let's see, so my youngest was almost 4. My oldest had just turned 5. My husband and I were thinking about having a third. And we went back and forth a lot, and we went through some tough times, like my husband lost his job and just things like that, normal life situations where it was never a good time. So we ended up, we have not had a third child, and we have decided that we are good with not having a third. But I feel like social media sometimes really glamorizes like having a large family, and you don't see the people who talk about like how actually hard it is. People are always like, oh, well, you won't regret having another child. You'll only regret not having one, and always wonder what if. And that was so confusing to me for a really long time, and almost like pressured me into thinking, like not trusting my instincts on not having another child. Especially, I remember a couple years ago, there was a post going around, people talking about like, 20 years from now, it's Christmas and you're setting the table. How many people do you picture setting the table for? Like, that's great if that helps someone like overcome like their fear, like they really want a third or fourth or whatever, however many kids. But it's not helpful for people like me. Like I experienced postpartum depression. Like it was really hard when I had littles, and I think it's really easy to block all that out. And when you see people having little babies and toddlers, and they're so cute, I actually really did like the toddler age for a little while, but I also blocked out how hard it was. I think, like, I don't know, just sometimes I'm looking at the pictures and videos on my phone, and there's literally videos of like my kids screaming in the car in the pitch black. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's the time that my daughter would not stop screaming bloody murder, to where I thought something was seriously wrong with her, and I drove her to the emergency room. But yeah, I feel like social media right now totally glamorizes people having like a bunch of kids. And when I was a kid, I didn't know anybody who had more than like two kids in their family. So can we just normalize moms just having a couple of kids and calling it a day?
So, like, how are we affording to build a home in this economy? And we don't really have a choice, because we are currently homeless. Not really, but we live with my mom, and they've sold their house. So, like, what are your average people doing to build a home and not being literally just have no money left over? I'm just mind blown at the cost of literally everything. And like, we could buy a home, but why would I buy a home for $15,000 less than we can build it, and it's from 1990, and I'm gonna have to remodel everything inside of it? And then if I rent a home, I'm paying $2,500 a month to rent a decent home in a neighborhood that doesn't get broke into, and my mortgage would be less than that to build my own house. But like, I'm building a house for an outrageous amount when I know that, like, I can't wrap my mind around the cost of living. And mind you, I live in Mississippi, which is the cheapest place to live. So like, I cannot fathom living in a state that costs more than this. Like, how are people affording life? How are you affording groceries? How are you affording to put gas in your car? How are you affording to put diapers on your child? And like, luckily we've been blessed to live with my parents, so we've gotten to save money. But what about the people who don't get to do that? Like, are y'all okay? Or are you eating? Because everything's expensive. And like, I want 3 kids, but I told my husband, I'm like, we like can't afford 3 kids. Like, we're gonna have a house note, which is fine, but like, kids are also expensive. So why does everything cost so much? And they're not paying any more. We're not getting cost of living raises. And it just, America. This is America. This is the living the American dream.
How much house can the average American family afford right now? In order to break it down, we're going to need average monthly income and average monthly debt for the average American. The median household income in the United States is $70,784 per year, or about $5,900 a month. The average household spends $412 a month on car payments, $230 a month on student loan debt, and $110 a month on credit card debt. I am aware these are not official numbers. I'm just doing an example. Please do not come at me. So that puts us at $5,900 a month for income, $750-ish a month for debt. And a reminder, we need the debt to income ratio to be below 50%, roughly. Some situations you can get more, blah, blah, blah. But amount left for house payment is roughly $2,194. Assuming an interest rate of 7.375, which is kind of average for today, these are the numbers for a $300,000 purchase with 5% down. Your monthly payment would be $2,178. This is not including PMI, by the way. So you'd probably be under $300K for your budget. The average home price in the US is about $428,000 right now. In no way is this affordable. This is insane.
And I actually think it's crazy. People are encouraging people to have all these kids now, especially with inflation. Like, we're experiencing what I would call like the diseconomies of childbirth. Where like it used to be, the more kids you had, it would be less expensive because you could pass down items were reusable. But now, like, most of the items that we buy and stuff are not sustainable. You know, just other stuff is like, instead of like economies of childbirth, we're entering the diseconomies of childbirth, where it's like the more children you have, the more expensive it becomes to have children. Like, you can't reuse some of this stuff, like, you know, other stuff like just cost increasing. So like encouraging people to have a lot of kids now is just crazy. Like, we should be in the age of deflation with all the technology advances we have and all this stuff, and we should be able to afford more kids, and it should be economies of scale in the childbirth space, but it's not. It's just crazy.
Who are these people that are affording groceries, going to the grocery store every week, spending $300, $400 a week, and they're just like, whatever. It's cool. It's pocket change. Seriously, not me. Family of 5. I have little children. Little. They're 12, 10, and 5. I don't even have teens living in my house yet. And I'm just like, just went to Market Basket, spent $338. Family of 5. That's pretty good, honestly. Only got $20 of non-food stuff, and the only meat I got was sausage, like turkey sausage links, and chicken. Like, for the week. Not a lot of chicken. And I'm just like, what? How are we doing it? How are you affording groceries? How are we doing this? I remember being a teen and going to my friend's house, or people come to my house, and we would just like eat all the strawberries, all the chips, drink all the orange juice in one day. I wonder if my parents and their parents were like wanting to like wring our necks at that point, you know, because they're like, that is expensive. You just ate $25 in fruit. Obviously it wasn't $25 then, but you get the point. Are you affording groceries comfortably? Should I get a second job? Should I work more? I don't know.
A quick reminder, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's continue the video.
We need to have a frank conversation about why it's so hard for parents today to make their budgets cover their lifestyles. And I'm not talking about extravagant lifestyles, I'm just talking about living. Specifically, I'm talking about in relation to inflation rates going up from 2021 to 2022 in the United States. Depending on where exactly you look, inflation rates in the United States have gone up 8.5% or 9.1% from 2021 to 2022 alone. So what does this mean? Well, let's keep it very, very simple. If you make about $100,000 as a household income, if the interest rate is 9%, that means, very rough numbers, you need to make $9,000 more this year than you did last year. The same is going to be true for 8%. If you make a household income of $100,000 and the interest rate is 8%, you need to make about $8,000 more this year than you did last year to have the exact same lifestyle. No, inflation rates change every year. I get that. All I'm saying is in the last couple of years, the inflation rate has changed the budgets of American families drastically. Okay? That means that before 2022, you could kind of figure out what your annual budget was going to be at a pretty reliable rate. But this changed when inflation rates started to change family household budgets at such a dramatic rate. You know that's not the end of the story, though. In 2022, in the United States, 1.2 million students were pulled out of public schools. They could have been sent to private schools, charter schools, or homeschooled. With the inflation rate changing everything so much, a $9,000 required household increase of an income might have made it so that the private school children cannot afford the tuition anymore. The charter students need to be taken to and from school every day because they do not have schools. And the homeschool children might have been a decision made was that one person decided to be a full-time stay-at-home person to be able to provide the education, and that no longer works. Families are getting incredibly creative on how they are making ends meet with all these changes, everything becoming just so expensive, and then just life in general not being affordable, and the income ratios are not matching the expenses that we are having today. Again, I'm not talking about crazy expenses, I'm just talking about life. Food on the table, heat in the winter, roof over your head. It's also becoming more and more of a requirement that there are flexible schedules to accommodate our children's schools, activities, whatever they are. My family combats this by me being a work-from-home digital project manager. I have a flexible schedule, I set my own hourly rate, and I can do it while my children are here. If this sounds like something that your family might want, take the quiz in my bio today and you can start thriving as a work-from-home digital project manager. Make more money than you ever did in corporate America.
In today's economy, do you think a couple that brings home $100,000 is enough to support a small family of like 3 to 4 people? I asked this because I made a post yesterday about how Americans are really struggling, and it was really sad and eye-opening to me to see the amount of people who said, I make 6 figures now, yet we're still struggling. And I don't mean is it enough to buy like luxuries. I just mean is $100,000 enough to live comfortably without having to live paycheck to paycheck. I remember like 12 years ago, my mom told me about this couple I knew who were making like a combined salary of $110,000. And at that point in my life, 20s, I'm thinking, what a dream, what a goal it was for me to be able to say one day that my husband and I were making like $110,000. And now here I am in 2023 and I'm like, it's not the dream life anymore. Like if someone would have told me my husband and I would be making what we're making and still having to cut back on necessities, I would have been like, you have to be kidding me. Like we didn't even go on a vacation this year because the last thing I'm going to do is put a vacation on a credit card, but we didn't have extra money to bring our kids on a vacation, and we both have good jobs. So if you think $100,000 is enough, I'm curious, what's your location? Do you not have children? Why do you think it's enough? Because I'm telling you from yesterday's post on here, the comments say different, and the comments say that a majority of Americans are really, really struggling, and I mean hardworking Americans. So,
but yes, it's not adding up whatsoever. How are people actually supposed to survive in this cost of living crisis? If you are average, an average family, let's say you only have one child, right? Just the cost of childcare alone is like $400 a week, $1,600 a month just for one child. That's literally rent right there. Plus rent, plus gas, plus insurance, plus your car note, plus your other expenses as well. So it's just not adding up, honestly. At the end of the day, it's not making sense. So as a family of 3, you should be making about $150,000 per year just to be comfortable. $150,000. And if you have more kids, just add more money on top of that, because it's just not making sense. It's not anymore.
Why is my grocery bill the same as my mortgage payment? I went to the grocery store the other day, and what would have normally been like $150 was $403, you guys. Oh, and that was just for like 3 days worth of meals. That's it. Not even a whole week's worth. Seriously. That's crazy. So I did the TikTok math, and I think I need about 40 million of you guys to watch this video for about 5 seconds, and then I could pay off my house, and then I could afford my groceries again.
You cannot convince me that if you are an average sized family in America that shopping in bulk is benefiting you in any way. You can't even convince me that it's the same price, because it's definitely more expensive. First of all those stores that sell in bulk like BJ's and Costco and Sam's Club, whatever, I actually believe at one time that they were cheaper, but then everyone caught on and started shopping there. So they caught on and raised the prices, and people just kind of like went with it and stopped paying attention and just assumed that if they were buying in bulk that they were saving money, because that's always what we've been taught. But those stores know that, and they know that you're not paying that much attention, And again, for the average size family, I guarantee that most of that goes to waste. And I'm not perfect by any means. We definitely have food waste in this house. But I think the solution to so many of us cutting our grocery budgets is to just cut how much we're buying. Unless you live very far from a store or like in a food desert, which I understand they do exist, if you actually run out of something or you find something else that you need, you can go back and get it. And that is probably better than just buying way too much of it and letting it go to waste. And that is my mission for this year, to significantly cut down on my food waste, which will in turn cut down my budget. And hopefully we can all do that.
I went to Albertsons and I purchased what I normally purchase for a week, okay? Lately, it's been like $600 a week on groceries that I've been spending, okay, lately. But I went to Albertsons and it was $250. I don't know if prices came down. I don't know. I know that I spent less than half what I've been spending and I bought more stuff, I'm pretty sure, because I took my kids with them and they kept putting stuff in the basket and I was like, but I was, you know, it's your kids, so you just do it. Last time I took them, it was like $1,600 and I was like, why is the cost of living so expensive? But now, see, $250, I feel like it's acceptable to spend a week on groceries and little things for your kids. Like, I'm okay with that. I'm not okay with $600, $1,000, you know, every week. It's too much. So for me to spend $250 in California, either Albertsons is super cheap or something's been coming down. I also went to Target and a bunch of stuff was on special. And I was like, what's happening? Like, they had like 30% off everything. And I'm like, something's happening, right? Are the prices coming down or did I just go to the store on good days? I'm not sure. So either people aren't shopping and everything's cheaper or something's up. But I know that I felt like it was cheaper. Do you feel the same? Are you experiencing the same things that I'm experiencing or not yet?
You guys remember Black Friday? No one bought anything. No one could go out and do it. And there wasn't even real sales. You remember they pulled back the label and it was just the same label but with Black Friday on it instead? Nobody's able to go out to eat as a family anymore. You can't even go do anything for fun. It is not worth it. Within a matter of 2-3 years, $100 is the new 20. I don't know if I'll ever be able to purchase a car for my children whenever they get old enough. I'm always going to rent. I'll never be able to own. And it's funny because even $30 an hour isn't going to get you anywhere in life. And you know what minimum wage is. I'd say to even begin to start to save anything, still living very frugally, you would need at least $50 an hour. And where are you going to find that? I was in commission sales. No one was coming in the stores. I couldn't even sell anybody. I would get to talk to 2 people a day. A lot of people are leaving the country, and other countries are wondering, how can we afford anything here? There is no American dream. It's dead.
All right, how are people surviving right now? A lot of folks ain't, because a lot of folks thought the good times were just going to keep rolling. There's a lot of us. See, the person who made this TikTok probably was too young to remember 2008. I got laid off in 2008, and I was off till almost 2010. Yeah, I had to sit at home. Broke. My unemployment ran out in 6 months. See, I had those hard moments that made me go back and say, you know what? Never again. So I saw a plan. Yeah, I got a day job. I have a great day job. I have incomes from, I've sold a business. You know what I mean? I have all these other things, but it's like, are people not planning and living below their means? Or do you want to keep up with what the Joneses? And I think that's where a lot of this can come from too. I'm not going to sit there and act like I'm holier than that or anything else. I just feel like we put too much emphasis on, man, I'm having a hard time, but I never planned for it. You should always plan for the hard times. I know this opinion is not going to be popular. And I'm not, listen. I'm not saying I have the answer. But at the same time, I'm being real honest. You know what I mean? I would rather sit back, work hard, put my head down, and not buying, like, I'm not buying a brand new car. I'm not going out buying a brand new car. I'm not going out buying Rolexes and doing all this other stuff, putting my money away. I think everybody else should too, because it may get worse. Hell, I don't want to go through 08 again. 08 scarred me for life. I guess we have to have those scars to wake us up. So hopefully people get better with their money. If not, you do you, boo-boo. But don't complain about it.
I always get this question about how I live in Florida and how I'm able to afford life. I'm still sick, and yes, my loud freaking fan is in the back, but we're just gonna deal with it. Life is hard everywhere right now. It doesn't matter where you live, it's expensive. And even in Ohio, where I used to live, we really struggled. I was a dental assistant, and I did photography on the side before I had my son. And my husband actually went to school for dental assisting, but dental assisting doesn't pay great. And they start you out at like McDonald's wages. It's shocking. You go to school, you spend 2 years of your life learning all this stuff, and then you have a ton of loans and you get paid McDonald's wages when you get out. So my husband decided that he was going to go back to school for his CDLs. Got his CDLs and could not find a job anywhere in Ohio, hence why we moved. But every job he looked for in Ohio, literally they wanted him to have 3 years of experience driving. Okay, well, how the heck is he supposed to get experience driving if nobody hires him? So we moved. We up and moved to Florida. Yeah, it's really expensive. Okay. This is a very taboo topic to talk about, but I just think it's good to share because so many people on this app, you see like 10 seconds of their lives and you think, what's like wrong with me? What's wrong with my life? Why can't I attain this? And I'm sure people look at mine and they're like, why can't I go to Disney every single day? Because that's what I used to do. I used to be like, how are these people able to go to Disney every single day? Yes, I just put 2 types of chapstick on, mind your business. But I'm here to tell you that we are broke. We are broke as a joke and we're just making it. And I feel like 90% of Americans are just making it right now. I pay about $2,000 in rent, so we're basically house broke, throwing it in the garbage because we can't buy a house right now, nor would I want to, because that's what we'd probably pay more than that for a house payment. We get water, cable, and internet included. I don't know if I should say my husband's wage on here, but just know that we make under $60,000 a year. I've already stated that my kids' dads really barely pay child support, so they don't really help with my 2 older kids. We have one car, one single vehicle. We pay about $400 a month for that, and then we have insurance that's about $200. This apartment's not worth $2,000. I'm just gonna be honest. It is not worth $2,000. I don't really think any apartment is worth what it is worth. The only thing good about Florida is like, I feel like they kind of have standards. When we call and need something fixed, they fix it. When I lived in Ohio, I paid $800 for a home. It was a 4-bedroom home. It was literally a piece of garbage. I lived in the worst part of the neighborhood. Things were always getting stolen. There was like some shootings. I mean, it was terrible. Yeah, but that's all I could afford. I ended up having black mold. My sewage was coming up through my tub and they literally just didn't fix it. There were many things wrong with my apartment here that would like never fly in my apartment complex. Maybe private owners, but renting in Ohio is terrible, and I feel bad for everybody who is trying to look for a place to rent in Ohio. I see people asking for homes all the time. I've not seen one landlord that isn't a slumlord in Ohio, where I'm from. So if you're a landlord from Ohio and you're watching this, step it up, because these are families that are living in your homes. Like, take care of it. We're paying all this money, take care of the stuff. So renting here isn't terrible. I feel like people on this app really live above their means. I do not know how people are able to go and buy new cars every month. I know some people lease, but people are really out here with $800 car payments. I would die if I had an $800 car payment. Oh my gosh, I couldn't do it. And I don't ever want another car payment. I'm paying this car off and I'm gonna run it into the ground because I do not want to pay. We don't have the newest phones. That's another thing I will not get. When I was working, I was like, I need the newest of the new. I need the new iPhone. No, nope. Apple, you're not getting no more money from me. I'm just gonna let my phone, again, run into the ground. I'm gonna use it until that thing cannot be used no more. Obviously electric, that's like about $200 a month. I try to spend $100 a week on food. And then I go like make one trip to Sam's Club to get snacks and stuff for the kids that last them like the month. But really, the number one thing that we do is I freaking coupon my life away, and I am good at it. I am the coupon queen. I ain't buying nothing unless it's on sale. Most of my things are from Facebook Marketplace. because rich people be giving away their stuff for cheap. They just give it away. I don't buy my kids new clothes at all. I'm sorry, I'm not doing it anymore. I did it for a long time, and they're just not in them long enough for me to spend that much money. Chloe, she has been really getting into DHgate for like shoes and stuff. They look just like the real things. So yeah, I'm gonna buy that over $300 shoes that she's gonna wear for 2 months and then not go out anymore. Things that I have given up since being broke. Coffees at any type of coffee place. I have given up getting my hair done for right now. I don't buy myself any new clothes, and that's fine. That is okay. I don't care. I'm a coupon queen. I coupon everything, like I said. I use Ibotta and I use Fetch, and is there any other ones? Oh, Shopman has been a new one that I use, and I've gotten really good at it. It's like a sport to me. Like, and I'm serious about it. Ask my husband. Like, if they don't give me my money from my coupons, like, I'm emailing them. I'm in their inbox. Where's my money? Because I coupon it that way. Because we have to budget. I have to budget literally every single dollar. For Christmas, I have been doing Target deals. Yesterday, if you missed it, I'm so sorry, and I didn't really know about it till last minute, so I went to Target. They had a Melissa and Doug sale going on. I got $150 worth of toys for $50. $150 worth of Melissa and Doug toys for $50. Yeah, we go to Disney. I buy nothing in Disney. I pack my own waters. You can get free water at Disney. If you did not know that, they will give you a cup of free ice water. We don't eat out. That's another thing we don't do. We never eat out. Basically, I plan my meals on what's on sale for the week and what I can get in Ibotta for basically free. I don't get my nails done. I've really never done that because I just think that is a waste of money. I'm a low maintenance mom. I don't have a gym membership anymore. Obviously, I don't work, so I gave up my job because I cannot afford daycare. I cannot afford it. It's sad, but like my daughter really needs braces right now. So I can't get my daughter braces. That sucks. My son needs them very badly too. My kids really don't play sports right now. I would not be able to afford to put them in sports, and I really can't afford to buy new shoes every season of every sport. Yeah, I mean, does it suck? Yes. You know, we're in Florida. There's a lot of free things to do here, which Ohio did not have. My husband's doing the best he can. He really is. I Instacart on the days that he doesn't work to try to make like some extra income. I just hope that when my kids are older, they can be grateful that we have time together as a family and appreciate that and not the materialistic stuff. And we're gonna make it. People just are not budgeting. They're trying to keep up with the Joneses, and you can't. You can't keep up with the Joneses, okay? You cannot keep up with TikTok. People on TikTok spend a lot of money. We can't do that. Broke people cannot do that. Just don't try to keep up with them. You don't need a new Christmas haul. You have Christmas stuff. Your kids are gonna think it's magical regardless. You don't need a $500 haul from Aerie or Lululemon every freaking day. That's not normal. Quit normalizing that, okay? It's not normal. So if you are struggling and you're trying to keep up with TikTok, well, that's why you're struggling, because influencers on TikTok are making millions. You are making poverty wages. One day, hopefully, we can make it through, and hopefully we can laugh about this. But until then, we're just gonna keep being innovative and keep trying to learn the best ways to save money. And hopefully when I'm rich one day, I will still coupon and try to save money. So that's how we survive here in Florida. We're just gonna make it through together, guys. It's the best we can do. And smile about it so our kids don't know.
For our family, it's luck, privilege, and a few wise decisions. I had the privilege of having my college paid for, so I had no debt going into my marriage, neither did my husband. But that was because he decided to go into the military, where they paid for his college, and he worked through that process. It also gave him the GI Bill, which covered 2 master's degree and VA loans, which helped us buy all of our homes. I also have a master's degree, but we were doing pretty well at the time, so we paid for that in cash. I had worked my way up from a before and after school childcare provider to director of curriculum programming at a pretty large center, and I was making about $45,000 a year. This is what's happened to our home value since we bought it. We bought it at $340,000. It's now worth over $500,000. Looks a little bit funny because it was a new build, so those really low prices are just the lot price. So for perspective, this was our starter home that we bought in 2013 for $220,000. It's now worth over $450,000. So if we were to try and buy that same starter home that we bought 10 years ago, we would struggle to afford that now. The wise decision that my husband made was to refinance this home that we're in right now about a year after we bought it, and our mortgage is only $1,600. There is no possible way on the income that my husband makes with me having no income that we could afford to buy this house now. We've been using a budgeting app for about a year now called EveryDollar, and that has helped me specifically get a handle on my spending habits. My husband is quite frugal, but I tend to like to do things like go out to eat and buy toys and books for my kids and clothes and things. So I really have to check every single day to kind of manage and track where my spending is. Plus, I'm the one who does all of that for our household. So I'm the one who manages like our grocery budget and making sure that we're staying on track for everything. But that app has helped us put about $6,000 or $7,000 into savings this year, just by being on top of it every single day and making different decisions, little ones throughout the week. My husband also gets VA money. We get about $2,000 a month from the VA, which made people really mad the last time I talked about that. It made people mad because most people said, why should he be able to work if he gets this disability from the government? If he's disabled, shouldn't he not be able to work? But his disability is hearing loss. He's deaf in one ear. And he has several ligament tears from some of the training that they did, like in his hip and his knee, and he has tinnitus from the military. And all of that is rated on a scale from like 10% up to 100% disability. But his disability does not prevent him from going to work. It just affects him emotionally and in some aspects of his life, but it doesn't prevent him from working. And I know no one asked, but I just want to prevent those comments. So we have some retirement, it's not a lot. We have some savings, maybe about $13,000. We're able to take like 1 or 2 trips a year, short ones, not on an airplane, like road trips, stay in a really inexpensive Airbnb. But all that being said, I wouldn't say that we're living anything more than like a middle or lower middle class lifestyle, although we did splurge on our Suburban, and that car payment is like $673 a month, which makes my jaw drop to the floor, and it's so difficult, but it really was worth it for our large family because we have 4 kids. And I'm in the car a lot, taking them to and from school, to and from their extracurriculars is about 2 or 3 hours in the car a day. The thing that's honestly kicking our butts this month is medical costs. So my kids have had strep 2 times for one kid and 1 for the other. So that's 3 doctor's visits at $200 a piece. Our medical plan is such that we pay a low monthly amount, but we put $500 directly from the paycheck into an HSA account that we use, but we use it all every month. 2 of my kids need orthodontia, so one just finished his round and the next one's starting, and that's $900 a piece. So as the kids get older and start eating more food and needing more like these types of medical costs, I'm not really sure how we're gonna manage. I'll probably have to go back to work at some point because I really don't think we can cut anywhere else. We really need to have a retirement and an emergency savings because I just don't feel like either of us feel comfortable without those things. I recognize that I will probably have to start all the way at the bottom again and, somewhere at like $15, $20 an hour and work my way back up. But for the meantime, it's not necessary yet, so I will continue to stay at home because my kids have asked me if I will whenever we have the conversation. And of course, it's my decision, but I take their input into consideration. And also childcare costs, because that would be a huge expense each month. One last thing, because I realize this is long, but I recognize that as a stay-at-home parent, we would be up shit creek if something happened to my husband. So we have started looking into life insurance, which I think would be another about $100 a month, but he's the one who does all of that. So I hope something in there was helpful or at least like illuminating, but have a good day. Bye.
I appreciate you guys watching the video today. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.